And there we go. Main mic set. I believe we're live now. Okay, it's starting up. So, hopefully I'm good to go right now. It's not on the screen yet. I'll give it a minute. Hold on. There we go. Alright, so, I didn't even get anything yet. I didn't even drink any water that time. Okay, so, this is the Fear the Walking Dead episode 12 discussion. It's the first impression review for the first 10 minutes or so. And then if you want to stick around for the fan feedback where I pull your questions from the comment section, you can stick around for that. We're going to dive right in because this is probably one of the Fear the Walking Dead episodes recently that I probably enjoyed the most. However, and I'll get this one negative, pretty much the overall negative. I'll just get this out of the way because I had a lot of fun with this episode, so I'll get the one negative out of the way. Yes, my criticism for the same old song and dance still applies, and I know we're going to have some people say, but Ronnie, you said da-da-da-da. Yeah, I thought of, what, season 6? Was it 6? I thought of season 6 too, the premiere where on the original show, and this is an example, not, well, this could be a comparison. Yeah, screw it, compare away. On the original show, they made the wall and they herded the big, huge mega herd away, and that's where they had the interaction with the wolves and stuff. And my main complaint still, you know, even though I enjoyed it, it's still there. Although I enjoyed it enough where I'm not letting that affect the enjoyment I got out of it. I was like, okay, we've already seen this on The Walking Dead, but I still enjoy it, so I pushed that out of my brain. I know a lot of people are going to be like, or maybe some, hey Ronnie, you said this last time. That still holds true. I really wish the writers would sit down and go, we already did this. Let's let them not be able to mobilize and do something different to where they're doing this, and this, you know? You get the same story, but you don't have the big RV wall. But that's the big negative out of the way. I still liked it. I really did enjoy it. However, there was one thing that was right, and I didn't make the prediction videos I'm not doing for Fear the Walking Dead because I said they show way too much, and there was a couple of you, I explained this in the private messages. They show, what's his name? I forget his name. They show Jake get bit in the trailer, and I pointed that out like almost immediately when we had the trailer. If you go back and watch, I said, listen, they show way too much. There's something, especially in yada yada yada. Unless it's a different bite, and I somehow freakishly made a big coincidental, you know, connection that was Jake getting bit. I'm almost positive if you go back and watch the trailer, you will see Jake get bit. Again, unless that's a totally different arm, and I just thought it was Jake and I screwed that up, I'll have to go back and look. But yes, I enjoyed this episode. There's some charisma with the actors that I really wish they went for a comedic moment, or maybe I just had I viewed it as a comedic moment and it wasn't really supposed to be, especially when Nick yanks Troy out and then throws Troy back to the ground, and he's like, well, now come on, Troy, let's go try to save the people you tried to kill. I was dying at that moment. And then he said, you could sleep when you're dead. There was something about that moment. For me, it was comedic. I was dying. Anyway, so let's rewind it basically to the front, to the beginning. I, for the first time in a long time, was hooked in a Fear the Walking Dead episode because they had this level of mystery to it. You know, maybe I should peek in the comments and make sure, I'll pop out the live chat just to make sure there's no one saying, hey Ronnie, there's no sound, or the picture is all fuzzy. Yeah, I don't see any comments like that, so we'll keep it moving. But right from the get-go, the first 20 minutes, maybe even longer, the first half an hour, I was sucked in immediately when Troy came up on the scene, and there was that mystery to him. Oh, there's this beast out there, there's something out there. That mystery I liked. I liked that a lot. And then I was so afraid when he was bringing Jake and Nick out. I was so afraid it was going to be something weak or stupid or, you know, whatever. Just, you know, drawing the episode out. And then when they showed that huge herd, I was like, yes, this is going to destroy shit. Which had me a little confused because I was assuming since they built the ranch for the show, they would stay on the ranch this entire time. I still feel like there's going to be a way where they stay on the ranch. I think this is one of those moments, or at least for right now, I feel like this is one of those moments where they go, oh, this is a devastating event, and they milk it for all it's worth until the end of the season, and it's really not devastating. Or one or two options, this could be one of those events where it is devastating in a way, and it pushes them to the next story plot that's going to play out in the new season. So this is the beginning. This is the beginning of where the new season's going to take us. That's also a fine possibility. So two possibilities: devastating event and they stay on the farm, or this is the beginning of the end for the farm, but it will take a little bit for them to get off and venture out. Maybe even we'll see them leave, but we won't see them get to a new place till next season. Now, that being said, before they find the herd, you guys heard it right. Okay, that was lame. Nick said fuck. They were driving up. It was simple. It wasn't loud. It wasn't screaming. It wasn't, most importantly, I feel, if this is a tester, it wasn't in a violent scene or a violent act. It wasn't like Negan being like, I'm gonna beat the fucking fuckity fuck out of one of you fucking pieces of shit, because that's kind of similar to Negan's dialogue in the comic at that moment. And then they did an uncensored on the Blu-ray where Negan says the fuck, fuckity fuck, fuck, fuck. And for this show, there's no violent moment. It's just a fuck, you know, because they're driving and that is it. No violence, no fighting, no one's getting killed. And it's just the one word, no rage, just like shocked. Oh, fuck, you know? And that could be a couple different things. I've seen shows where they've done that, and later they would mute it for the reruns. I've seen shows where they say the F word, like Better Call Saul is a perfect example. He calls the guy a pig fucker, except it's like this. Oh, you pig, you know what I mean? They mute the middle. So you hear the f and you hear the k, but they mute the middle. And they do that a lot for Breaking Bad. I remember watching that, and they were muting out the F words and stuff like that. There was a couple people who said on the first viewing, the F word was in there. And then on the reruns, it was all muted. When I saw it, it was always muted, so I never really heard it live, or I don't remember ever hearing it live. But this could be a mistake, or they could play it off as a mistake. Like, oops, we left that F word in there. It was supposed to be muted. So for everyone saying it was definitely intentional and whoop-de-whoop, it could be the intentional F word, but they normally mute it out. So they could say, okay, and later on they're going to tell the FCC or whoever regulates that, oh, we accidentally didn't mute it. Again, to kind of test and see what they're going to do. Yes, they did say The Walking Dead did that in Consumed. And I pointed that out way back when, and I knew it too, because Daryl even turns away from the camera, and he was like, the old world or some shit like that. And it was something about his dialogue that there was that gap there. I'm like, yo, I know he said the F word. And then if you go back and rewatch the Blu-ray, he definitely drops the F-bomb. So that's something that has been done in Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, the original Walking Dead show. They use the F words, but they mute it out, or sometimes they do a completely different line of dialogue, so that way it doesn't, you know, take away from the scene. Rick, they're screwing with the wrong people. I hate that line. They should have just left the F word in there. Oh, man, it's so much better. Go watch the Blu-ray. That's so much better. Anyway, so yes, I should have been excited, because this could mean we might get a couple F-bombs for Negan in Season 8, or anyone else in Season 8. However, I was kind of annoyed that they didn't take this risk with the Big Show. They didn't take this risk with the Negan character. I mean, how much more rewarding would that have been if they took that risk? It would have been like, yes, we would have supported them. Yes, AMC, take those risks. We got you, you know? Instead, they do it on the show that, by comparison, you know, isn't pulling in nowhere near the ratings. It's probably not going to be anywhere near as controversial as compared to it being on the Big Show. Now, for a lot of people, this is an issue that shouldn't be an issue. A lot of people look at curse words, where I disagree with it. A lot of people look at it as just, you know, bullshit filler. They don't want it in there, and yada, yada, yada. I disagree. I think it's more realistic. People curse. I mean, it's just words, you know, it's just expressions. So, anyway, I think that's pretty much enough. Someone said they said fuck on Preacher too. Yeah, I haven't seen Preacher Season 2, but there's a lot of different shows they use the F word on. They've muted them from what I can tell. A lot of people are saying there's some ones they picked up on that weren't muted. And I guess we have to go back and look and see if there was anything that came from that. Did they get in trouble? Is there a reason? And yada, yada, yada. Anyway, let's move on to the actual story. We talked about the F word way too much in this video already, but let's move on to the actual story. So, yes, Jake and Nick get pulled out. Travis wants to show him what's going on. And I do like this back and forth between these three characters, and I am kind of the one. All right, Jake dying at this point in time was a bag of mixed feelings and emotions for me. On the one hand, he's dead directly because, in my opinion, Nick kills him. Nick gets him killed. He hits him in the back. And is he going to lie again to Alicia? It feels like a lot of these characters are lying. And the big reason for that is because it's hard making connections to these characters. So many secrets and so many lies. No one's being honest. And it's not for reasons where we would be like, oh yeah, okay, I understand that. Like Nick not wanting to tell the people that he killed their dad and whatever, whoop-de-whoop, and let that lie go. Okay, I can see that. But it just feels like every other character is lying to each other or keeping these secrets. And after a while, it starts knocking on you about whether or not... I just want Nick to come out and be honest and be like, listen, he was going to shoot Troy. I tried to stop him. I fucked up and got him killed. You know? If he does anything outside of that, I'm going to be a little disappointed. But I do like the dynamic they have with these three brothers. With Troy, I really like the charisma the actor's bringing. I like that dynamic, but I want it to stay damaged. I don't want this to be like a buddy-buddy thing. Like, there's definitely damage here. This is a pathetic connection. Not pathetic because of what the writers are doing. Pathetic, like, in that real world. Those are two pathetic people. You got the junkie, self-destructive, and then you got the psychopath, you know, sociopath, whatever the hell he is. He's twisted, demented, his brain is broken. There's that pathetic connection because they're, you know, both the black sheeps, or they're both self-destructive. They have this camaraderie, this, you know, bromance going on. And it is pathetic in that world. Not to me as a viewer. I want to make that abundantly clear. And I want it to stay that way. I like that angle of it. I do like that angle of it. It's a loose connection there, but at least there is a connection there. There's some of that connecting tissue. So leave it as it is, you know, don't build on it. I mean, maybe down the line in a couple seasons, if they do grow together in this, you know, post-apocalyptic world, sure, you could build on it. But for right now, leave that bitch broken. Now, as far as the herd coming to the ranch, this is one thing that I was thinking of. Would that really happen? I mean, listen, that's got to be a lot of pressure, right? And I think of these things because realism is important. And don't say, oh, there's zombies, that's not realistic, so you can't have realism. No, The Walking Dead is grounded with realism. You know, Nick didn't jump in the air and fly over to Alicia and them and rip off the metal doors and use his powerful wind, you know, freeze this. No, because that's not realistic. That's not realistic at all. Based off the rules they have already established. So therefore, when we get these zombies up against the RV, my brain is making this connection because of the rules they already established in this world. How would that happen? If it would happen, I'll buy it all day. But my brain was saying, like, I don't know if that RV would flip. I don't know. But then I'm thinking, okay, you got a pile up of walkers. So for those of you who are also thinking, like, would that work? Let's think about this. You got the RV, and you got a pile up of walkers. You have walkers under the RV packed to where they're not coming out anymore. And you just have, like, the pile up here. And then more and more are, you know, laying, crawling, stomping on those. You would think they would kind of flood it, maybe come over the top. That would have been badass. But it pushes in a way because of the weight and the buildup of the dead, crushed, you know, exploded walkers. It does push the top, so it is definitely possible. It would have been cool to see a really clear picture of that, to where you had the pile of walkers and there was so much pressure, just like this little mountain leaning on the RV, causing the top to be top heavy. Something like that would have been real cool. I like shit like that. Me as a zombie fan, if they kept, you know, a little bit of extra time to focus on those little details, I love that shit, me personally. Like when they lock Strand up outside, I don't give a shit what's going on in the flea market at this point in time with all the other characters. Leave us outside with Strand and just stay there, you know. Just stay there as a zombie slowly makes his way. For me, that's suspenseful. Like when Nick woke up and he heard the creaks in the house. I love that shit. Who's in the house? We don't know. It's probably Troy, but it could be anybody. Let's rock with this. Let's have him slowly go out. Once they immediately cut and he was kind of already outside, it broke that tension they were building for me. Just giving you an idea of what I like compared to what I don't and stuff like that. But I love that tension. I love when they build the tension. And here's another example of what I wish Fear the Walking Dead would do a little bit more that they don't do. Jake died in this episode, and I liked Jake. I liked Jake as a character. I thought he was interesting. I thought the actor had a good amount of charisma, but they didn't get his character to a point where I was like, oh, damn, that hurts. You know, it wasn't one of those deaths where I'm trying to think in, you know what, we're not going to talk about other shows. I'm trying to compare it to another show that had a character in it for a short amount of time, but it still was more impactful. But bottom line, his death was like, okay, I like him as a character. He's not a villain. He's a good guy. Whoop-de-whoop. Oh, man, he died. Well, shucks. Like, that is it as far as the connection goes. And I wish they would add these characters, especially background characters, in during opportunities where there's a perfect slot to put them in. This episode gave us a perfect example of when they can put in characters. You know, when Alicia has to put down Coop. That's a character I was actually starting to like. And again, if they just insert these characters into some other scenes here and there, I think his death would have been way more impactful. And this is the perfect example. She shoots Coop. She grabs Ophelia. The tension's ramped up. They're cut off and out of bullets. And you got that one badass dude. I forget his name. You got that one badass dude and Alicia and then Ophelia. And they got to fight their way to the door. Already, tons of zombies, out of bullets. I'm loving it, you know. So they're fighting their way to the door. And we should have had, at a moment where it looked like they were going to build the tension to where this is their final fight. They're just about there to the door, but they need a little bit of help. They're about to be overtaken. This is the moment where some of those side characters, we've seen their faces before. They're going to play a little bit of a bigger role later on, and we want to be connected to them so that way when they die, we feel something, you know. Send out a couple of those characters. Just two. Give us two that come out of the bunker. Imagine that, because this is a group that's supposed to be working together. They had the tension. They had everything perfect and set up to do this. They're making their way to the pantry, is that what they call it? They're making their way to the metal doors. Just now they need a little bit of help. It looks like they just might not make it. And then boom, out of the metal doors comes two guys, and this is where those groups unite. Take one from the Native American camp and then one from the ranch camp, and then have them come out. They help just that little extra bit at the end. Everybody unites, and then they come back into the pantry. Those faces that we saw previously, now us as viewers will be like, yes, they saved those characters because it's a reward situation. You have this major conflict. They're fighting. We don't want Alicia to die yet. We don't want Ophelia to die yet. And that other dude, he's being a prick here and there, but he has good charisma, and there's a lot of potential with this character. And I feel like if they would have brought two out to save them, or help them, I should say, make it that last bit, it would have been a moment where we can start to build a connection with those two other background characters or side characters. So that's what I wish they would do a little bit more. And I think we would have had a bigger connection if they did do that, like with Jake specifically in this episode. Which is a double-edged sword in a good way. Usually that's used for, you know, you get cut on one side, and that's a good thing, a positive thing, or the other side's, you know, you get cut, it's sharp, and that's a bad thing. You get cut no matter what. But this is a good thing with Jake's death, because not only do we have that connection, some of us have somewhat of a connection to the character. We like the character, and some of you guys out there, that might be one of your favorite characters. But on the flip side, this is affecting Alicia, it's affecting Troy. So you get that double-edged sword where it's two whammies, it's two birds with one stone. So, you know, ramping up some of those characters, I think they'll be better for it in the storytelling. So, Yeah, so listen, that's pretty much it for the first impression reviews. To end it, I enjoyed it a lot. And that was me consciously, after I should say, me consciously taking taking the criticism I would normally have in this episode, going, okay, they're doing the same shit we've already seen in the world of The Walking Dead. However, I was enjoying it already, and I was able to go, okay, you know what, just forget about them already doing something that has already been done. You know, you can rant about that later on, just enjoy it, because in the world of The Walking Dead, you're gonna have people block off big herds. It's gonna happen multiple different times. It might even happen to, you know, our main group. They might, in their lifetime, in that world, they might do it 5 or 6 times, you know. But with a companion show, being the only other show, being something that should have different, you know, different ways to tackle the zombies, because obviously you have writers who say, okay, they already did this on the main show. Let's do it a little bit different when this, and this. So I was able to yank that out and still enjoy it. So I loved it, but to be very clear, yes, my criticism still stands. And I'm definitely making that very clear, because I always got a handful of people going, but Ronnie, you said a month ago you didn't like it because they did this, but they already did this in The Walking Dead, so why do you like it now? Clear as it can be. Criticism stands, but I still enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed it a lot. So that's the end of this. I'm going to dive into your opinions here. Now, when it comes to the questions, don't murder me. I didn't set this up. But the way it works is, obviously I can't answer every single question. I try my best to go down, so that's why YouTube did it this way, to have the super chats pop up. So that way, any super chats, I'm trying to get better at it, the moment one comes up, for those who don't know, don't just donate. You can write something, and I'll definitely read that. It normally pushes it to the top. Again, don't kill us YouTubers. We didn't invent that. That's what YouTube has going on. So let's dive into some of these questions. It looks like we only got 111 people here, so I might be able to get most of the questions, you know, starting now, though. I can't rewind back and read everything that's been written. So let's back it up some. Let's see what you guys are saying. It was a good setup. The town overrun and the people underground. We have 2 psychos needing to save the people. We have reactions of Madison, Walker, and Strand, and the news behind Jake's death. Yeah. They had a good setup in this episode for, you know, potential story coming up. I was like, whoa, wait a hot minute. Did he really say that? Hey, Ronnie, for me, this all felt like vintage Walking Dead night. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Yes, I did. Hey, to make this easier for everyone asking me a question specifically, because I don't want to, if you guys are talking to each other, there's a handful of you that are talking to each other, that is awesome. So if you want to ask me a question specifically, put Q&A first thing in your comment, and that'll definitely be easier to find them. I'll just scroll down and look for some of those when we get down there. Hell, I'm walking F-bombs, so I'm all for it. I mean, shit, how much better would Negan be? Yes. Ronnie, where's the restock? Yeah, we were 3 weeks late, so you're talking about the restock for Doomsday Kingdom. We're getting everything in order to know how many we're going to have, and it's going to be a limited restock, and we're doing that because instead of going ahead and bringing out more, you know, issue number 1s, we're going to put whatever we have left up for a restock, and then we're going to go ahead and order the day and night variant set. I love that set. I'll do an update video early this week talking about that. Just saw on The Talking Dead the girl who plays Ophelia is pregnant. Yeah, I seen that too. Nick, is Negan full-on villain? I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I mean, this Negan, you know, Nick gets people killed. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. But I get what you're saying. Ronnie, very cool that Charlie Adler sketched the rider for you and James the other day. I was so stoked for you guys. Yo, that was awesome. For anyone who doesn't know, I got that mask right here. The Rider, one of my main characters in Doomsday Kingdom, wears that half mask and a little, you know, suit, leather clad, to protect himself from bites and stuff. And the artist from The Walking Dead, Charlie Adler, was in a comic shop in the UK signing some issues and stuff, and the artist for Doomsday Kingdom lives in the UK, and he was able to stop by. It was like right around the corner from his house or something. And Charlie Adler, the artist for The Walking Dead, drew a sketch cover on one of the blank covers of the Rider. It's so cool. You know, you see a character that you created, and it's drawn by the artist who does The Walking Dead. I think it's badass. It's so badass. I'm jealous. I am definitely jealous. I'm going to have to find a way to get to a convention one day with a blank and say, now do it again. But that's very cool. James has that, and he has the pictures up if you guys want to check it out. I'll probably put it in a video someday. The picture, though, James has the physical copy. Me personally, I thought using the RV as shields was dumb. Like, come on. Q&A. Ronnie, do you think Madison will kill Troy? I think if she was going to kill him, she'd do it already. You know, she would have done it already. Haven't seen the episode yet, but dropping in for 2 minutes to chat because I love Ronnie Hayes. Yes, Negan. Yes. Much better episode. Looking forward to the remainder of the season for a change. Yeah, I'm definitely way more excited now. Definitely. Q&A. Ronnie, do you think Madison will kill Troy? Did that? Oh, look, Tattletale. I don't know what that means. I'll always love Season 1 of Fear, but Season 2 killed my interest. Yeah, Season 2 hurt. Season 2 definitely hurt. Like 3 minutes after I stopped talking about. Ronnie, is The Walking Dead and The Last of Us in the same universe? Absolutely not. Yeah, for anyone who even thinks about anything being in the same universe, you can't do that. Legally, you absolutely 100% can't do that. Like, I was actually surprised. I had a lot of people asking if the Doomsday Kingdom was like a story set in the Walking Dead universe with Walking Dead characters, and I'm like, absolutely not. It's a zombie story, and it's funny because I call it an original story because it's not, you know, Last of Us, it's not The Walking Dead. But it sounds funny calling a zombie thing an original, but that's technically how it is. Yeah, so, I don't know. I think it's funny. Anyway, yeah, you can't do that. I know there's some laws around using, you know, characters from other stuff and yada, 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 but it's plain and simple, you just can't. Because you don't own the rights to it, you know? I'm actually on time. I actually had to reply that scene where Nick said fuck. At first I thought he said fog. Oh wait, what? Ronnie, did you read All Out War won't go past season 8? Question mark. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Yes, I read that, but it shouldn't. It definitely should not go past season 8. Ronnie, I have some really cool ideas you probably like for Fear the Walking Dead, but like I said, I only lets me type so much in one comment. I don't know why. Yeah, I never knew YouTube had a limit on what you could comment. I don't know why they're doing that to you. I got shit for not liking Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Is that something new? Troy will be kept for good, in my opinion. Now he's interesting. I hope they keep him around a little bit. Build the connection before you kill them off. What will the next 4 episodes be about? Well, the next episode definitely is going to be about them clearing away, trying to help the people that are trapped, and then the people that are trapped dealing with each other inside that container or underground bunker area, and obviously trying to escape through the vents and shit like that. Then we still have an episode with Madison and them getting back. And again, most likely we'll have them rebuilding and staying, or them all leaving and looking for something else. We don't know how much time they're going to... Because keep in mind, there's the dam area with the water. That's still in play. So with this area destroyed, they might come back and go, well, the dam area will take us. They take all their people to the dam area and say, listen, we have an army. We can help you hold the dam, and we can fight off anyone trying to take it. That's absolutely a possibility. But the thing keeping me from making predictions is we don't know where AMC wants them to be. AMC could again, they built the ranch. AMC might say, whatever you do, keep the story on the ranch. Don't go off the ranch because we want to keep it there because we built it and we could just keep making up stories, you know? Q&A. What would you want a Cain and Abel type thing with Jake and Troy, where Jake kills Troy and Troy kills Jake? Would you want a Cain and Abel? Nah, I wouldn't hunt that out. I'd probably do something different. There's been so many Cain and Abel stuff done in entertainment. I wouldn't go anywhere near that. I wouldn't want anything near that. The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad were confirmed to be in the same universe after the music used in that one episode of Fear the Walking Dead this season. Yeah, that's not true at all. Listen, even if AMC comes out and says, oh, it's in the same universe, I'd have to look into the legalities of whether they can say that, because keep in mind, they don't own Breaking Bad. Therefore, they do not own the universe that it takes place in. I don't think they're breaking any laws by coming out and being like on social media, yeah, it's in the same universe. But I'll tell you this right now, just story-wise and the characters, it's just not. Unless one day AMC buys it and then forces that bullshit together, which I am adamantly, I totally disagree. That's something they should not do. The blue meth for Merle was simply an Easter egg for us fans to go, oh, that's cool. There should be no connections. Ronnie, I was the one that called someone a tattletale. We had a bit of a situation. Moving on. Oh. Ronnie, just got my Doomsday Kingdom in the mail and loved the first issue. Keep it up. Great storytelling. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Ronnie, don't you think that powerful last moment with Alicia and Jake should have ended with at least a kiss? Took me out of the moment and Troy's white-ass teeth when he's supposed to be filthy. Yeah, I don't think... I mean, as far as the teeth, if he had white teeth before the apocalypse, they're not going to go that dirty immediately. He might get buildup or something, but if he's not brushing, I don't know. As far as the moment for me, I get what you're saying with a kiss, sure, but simply having kisses in it, it doesn't go, oh, they're together. There's unity there. You know what I mean? They're having this fight, this argument. If they just kissed, again, it's taken away from the argument they had. And again, if they kissed and they left on a good note, it's not as tragic as them fighting and, you know, regretting that they left it that way. Now she's going to wish she gave him a kiss goodbye. Now there's a lot of regret there. I think that's more tragic, in my opinion, as a viewer, than having them kiss and do something like that. You know, if I'm pissed off at my chick, I'm probably not giving. I'm going to be like, listen, especially as pissed off as he was, I ain't kissing you, bitch. You know? Yeah, Ronnie, don't you think... Oh, I already did that. Ronnie, off topic, but check out Ozark. I did. I watched it. I liked it. Will you get more 7-inch Fear the Walking Dead figures if they'll make like Daniel, Alicia, Strand, etc.? Most likely not. I can't even keep the ones they make. They took out the articulation and now they're all just falling down. What happens is you get them on the stands and they start leaning a little bit, and over time they just fall down and there's no articulation. And if you try to move any of the legs just to keep them on the damn shelf, they, you know, don't line up because of the way they're made. And to be honest, the Fear the Walking Dead figures are just so plain and boring. They're just not interesting enough to have on the shelf. If they did something really cool and they made a character like Nick and he's full of guts or some shit like that, I would probably be like, man, that looks visually awesome, and I'd probably grab it. But as of right now, probably not. I hope they keep Troy around. He's hot. Didn't Jake say the Pacific Northwest was a prepper place? Yeah, he said some place like that, but we don't know if that's just conversation or if they're really going to go. Jake was, you know, more interested in going. And I think if they left them alive, I would think there's a possibility they're going. But I think it would be a little weird if, you know, she goes, oh, Jake mentioned this place, let's just go there. However, that's absolutely possible. It's definitely possible. Would you want a Cain and Abel story where Jake kills Troy or the other way around? I think we got this question already, and no, not at all. I hope they keep Troy around. He's an awesome bad guy. Yeah, again, I want them to keep him broken. You know, that's the thing. I think the Whisperer of War has enough material for half of The Walking Dead, most likely first half of Season 10. Thoughts, Ronnie? I think the Whisperer of War should be in Season 9. I don't think it should be in 10. But I do think there's a lot more content. And I tell you this right now, I'm going to... Well, that's kind of egotistical. There's something they didn't do in the Whisperer of War that I really wish they did. I'm going to try to find as much free time as I can and pen like a little script idea to show you guys, because I might even pick it outside where they're filming and be like, you must do something like this. Because as it is right now, the Whisperer of War is like building up to a war, and it's not much happens. In a comic book, it's fine. You can get away with that shit. But on TV, it'll fall flat on its face. And I don't want it to pop off like that, because it has the most potential to be one of the most amazing and refreshing. You know, you're what, 9 seasons in this bitch, and you have this new villain that can, and this new environment that can just refresh, you know, the whole Walking Dead universe, the original show. It's just, there's too much potential to let it slip between your fingers. And yes, I am talking about the main attack. They need to handle that differently, in my opinion. Jake was hotter. Ronnie, my man, long-time viewer, first-time commenting. Keep up the good work. I lost your comment. Keep up the good work. I really appreciate that. Thank you. The comments went all the way down again. We got a super chat. Wisdom Fall. Haven't watched the show yet. Hello, everyone, and good night. Go check it out. You'll probably like it. And good night. Thank you very much for the support, though. Did you hear AMC bought the area where The Walking Dead films, Ronnie? AMC has a lot of faith in The Walking Dead's future. No, I didn't hear anything new about that. I heard of leases and stuff like that a year ago, I think, and the leases were for 4 years or something. So yeah, if you say they have a lot of faith in it, I agree, you know, because again, the leases, it might be 2 years ago where they bought leases for like 4 years or something like that. I remember reading, but I haven't heard anything new where they bought where The Walking Dead films. I'm pretty sure, weren't they filming where that one guy owns it? I don't know if he would sell that, unless you're thinking of a different spot that's close by. I'll have to look it up. Ladies, don't get too attached. People often die in The Walking Dead universe. Don't forget Merle had blue meth. Nope, we already mentioned that. I had a bad feeling that they might do something to Ophelia's character too early and force Daniel into going rogue again, thinking Madison and Strand were lying and some shit like that. Yeah, I think that's more frustrating than it is rewarding, and I agree. I would not like that either. Ronnie, I remember you saying you are a big concept fan of Friday the 13th. Just wondering, did you ever watch Friday vs. Jason? Jason, if so, did you like it? I hated it. Thought it was lame as shit. Yeah, I didn't like it. I'm a concept fan, love the idea of Friday the 13th, but I don't think they really do a lot of good movies. One day I would like to sit down and just run through them quickly, you know. With the ad revenue, Ad Apocalypse on YouTube, we might be able to do that if we switched. If you know, we're going to transition more over to fan supported instead of ad supported. So if enough fans were like, "Yep, I want to support that," hell, that might make it easier. We could do stuff like that. What do you think about Travis's death in retrospect? I hate it. Still, I stand by. I was hoping I would be like, okay, I see why. I see why, because Travis's death was set up like this. And now it makes even less sense. None. Because before I'm like, yo, this is going to be what drives Madison and gang. Not only to stay at the ranch, but to hunt those who shot him down. And this is going to be the big, you know, versus. These people shot Travis down, you know. But nope. They literally gave him the keys. The person who killed Travis, and this is why I say Madison's character is starting to piss me off more and more. She was so, oh, we're going to get them, this is it, you know, out for blood, yada, 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 and I was backing her with that. And then she finds the people that killed him, and she's like, well, because they thought they were shooting down some racists and whoop-de-whoop. You don't know, and this is a perfect example of why that call was a shitty bullshit call. There's no way they would have known if coincidentally that was a rescue helicopter or a different helicopter, or maybe even like what actually happened, the shitty people rescued some good people and you were going to be killing good people. And that is literally what happened. So that was a wildly shitty thing for them to do, is to shoot up into the helicopter like that. And Madison's just like, oh well, give him the keys, Jake. You know, give him the keys to the guy who killed Travis. It doesn't matter. He was just a school teacher anyway. The pussy. Anyway, yeah. So in retrospect, I like it even less. Laugh aloud. Here, I thought Ronnie hated internal conflict. I do. Yeah, I don't know why you don't think I do. Well, here's another thing. Yes, I hate internal conflict because of a number of reasons. One, it seems too forced, too predictable, too cheap, too lazy. But if you have someone that writes good internal conflict, I love it. I mean, it's, you know, it's, give me more. There's a lot of things I hate. I hate repetition. I hate this. I hate that. But if you do it good, I love it, you know. So just because I did not want this internal conflict between, you know, the white guys and Native Americans, I did not want that. I felt it was cheap, it was lazy, it was the most predictable way to go. And guess what? They went that way. They set it up and we said, oh, internal conflict. And they gave us exactly what it looked like we were going to get. So predictable. I didn't like it. However, if they gave us internal conflict that just flipped itself on its head and was something totally different and new and fresh and entertaining and, you know, it was magnetic, I would love it, you know. It doesn't mean I always hate it, because if I did, you guys should not listen to me. If you find someone who always hates something, unless it's we're talking jump scares, you should always hate those. But if it's like I don't know, you know, symbolism, if you always hate symbolism, you should probably not listen to that person, because there's really cheap and lazy symbolism, but then there's also some really cool and creative symbolism to get behind. Same thing with internal conflict. You can have it done right, or you can have it done wrong. Usually on Fear the Walking Dead, in my opinion, for my tastes, it's usually wrong compared to being right, or something I liked, you know what I mean? Travis's death was way too fast. They should have done something more brutal. I don't know, that was pretty brutal. He got shot in his ass and his guts exploded. You know, that was brutal. I love Travis's death. The actual death, I love it. Fucking love it. You know, he got shot in his ass, his guts exploded, got shot in his throat, and he was saying, help me. And you're thinking, oh my God, he needs someone to help him. He's wounded. And then you find out he's saying, no, help me. Throw me out of the plane. Like, this dude is on point. He's thinking about everyone else except for himself. He's going to throw us. Like, it was written beautifully, in my opinion. The person, wrong person. The timing when it happened in the story, totally wrong. If they kept Travis around and this was his death, you know, 2 or 3 seasons from now, after they did something, I felt did something worthy with his storyline, I probably would have been shattered and called this one of the most perfect deaths in the world of The Walking Dead. And I did say that exactly, almost word for word last time. I think in the second discussion, not the initial review, but afterward, I said, yeah, it was afterward because I rewatched it. The death is perfect in my opinion. Wrong timing, wrong character. It should have been used for somebody else, in my opinion, for that specific one. Anyway, but I think the timing, I agree. Because of when it happened in the story, yes, it was too fast. It was too fast. Am I the only one who thought Madison is like buddy-buddy with Walker and after Travis? Am I the only one bothered? No, I just said that. I'm bothered by it too. I agree with you. Who has received a copy of Doomsday Kingdom? Check on lots of social media. All right, we got another super chat. Alan Hannigan. I don't know what to frickin' write. Here's $10. Gonna buy the comic after the live show. Still not watching Fear. What's the worst story idea you almost put in your comic? Thanks, Ronnie. The worst story idea? Check this out. I just read it today. Back in 2001, I wrote what originally was going to be the original zombie story. I had 2 that I was originally writing. One's called Hell's Judgment, which was one I could play around with and make it more science fiction. And like, there was people that they were running tests on. There was 2 brothers. Get out there stuff. And then there was another one that I was writing that was my passion project. This was the one I wanted you to cry, and I wanted it to be realistic and whoop-de-whoop. And I was actually able to combine these 2 in around 2006 or whatever. I combined the 2, and in 2010 I officially wrote out the screenplays, and I did the backstories and all this, and I found one of the papers dated March like 31st, 2010. Really cool, but one of the original papers back in 2001, when I was like, you know, 17 or some shit like that, and I wrote the two brothers. Really cool scene, I thought. There was this guy in a restaurant, he was eating, and it was like a Taco Bell, or it was like a fast food joint. It was a pizza shop in the actual story, but all around him is glass, and he's eating, and he's looking out this window, and there's a guy slowly walking towards him, and it's pouring down rain. And when you read it, it's like this guy is walking like it's a Sunday stroll, but it's just gushing rain, gushing. Another guy walks in, and he's like, listen, I need to talk to you, whoop-de-whoop, you got to get out of town, we're doing this with or without you. And then the Tyler, that main character, was like, listen, if my brother gets the contract to hunt you guys down afterwards, I'm going to support my brother, it is what it is. And then the other guy says something else, and then he rushes out the door. And once he rushes out the door, the guy who's walking in the pouring down rain finally gets close up to the window, and it's a zombie, and he pounds on the window, and Tyler, sits up and takes notice, and there's even more bodies coming to the window. The idea was a lot of zombies surround the dun-dun-dun-dun. But one of the scenes that was really bad in the 2001 script was having the two brothers involved in a government thing where they run tests and they were turned into like trained killers and shit like this. However, you do have to understand, the Hell's Judgment was supposed to be an action-packed, like Resident Evil done right. It was action-packed and realistic and dark and serious still, but the other one that was the codename Dead Patriots, that was the one that was the realism, the drama, the tears, that was the passion project. I was able to take out some of the corny stuff from Hell's Judgment and then take out some of the, well, a lot of the Dead Patriots stayed in, but I took out the main characters and they became side characters. What am I doing? What am I doing? Anyway, thank you very much for the support. We'll discuss more on the origin stories and shit like that later on. There's a lot of people here that don't want to hear about that shit, and I keep forgetting. But for those who do, we will do a discussion. There's a Doomsday Kingdom YouTube channel. We'll be discussing it on there. Most likely. Thank you again, Alan. I appreciate the support. And if you go to the website, doomsdaykingdom.com, right now we only have Signature Series. It's the $50 limited edition. There's only a handful left, and then you get the book plate that's limited and signed. Both of them are signed by me and the artist. And then I think the ones that are available now, you get like a free, like, it's a giveaway thing. There's like a trading card that's signed, and I thought I had one. Anyway, yeah, so that's open, and we're going to restock probably in a week and a half. Anyway, number 144, events in the mid-season finale. Negan doing that thing in Season 9 finale, and the beginning of the war in Season 10. We're going to talk about The Walking Dead and Whisper War because there's more stuff coming out, and it's making me think, I wonder if they're doing something a little bit different. So, The Walking Dead 1 month. Are you ready, Hayes? I am more than ready. For the first time, I'm like, bring it. Because usually I'm like, oh my god, give me time to prepare. I got all these videos going on. But at this point, I'm like, bring it. Ronnie, do you think that any other major character will get killed off by the end of the season? Are you talking about in Fear? I don't believe so. I think at this point in time, their back is against the wall. And they either kill Madison or they don't kill anybody. As far as the three mains that I'm talking about, Madison, Nick, and Alicia. Danny, in my opinion, he's just coming back. He's not main enough. He was gone for too long. Strand, again, they keep kicking him out of the story. He's not main enough. He's main, in my opinion, but he's been gone. They keep bouncing back and forth. So I don't think any of those should die at this point in time. That's what I thought you meant about internal conflict. In my opinion, it's good if it's well written. I get you now. Yeah, well written. That pretty much goes for anything. There's a lot of things that are cliche or overdone or repetitive that Hollywood does, and if it's written well, it works. It works. Like, there's one thing I hate, and that's having the main characters split up because of anger, conflict, misunderstanding, hatred. They did it good in Stranger Things, and it is something that I usually tell writers, don't ever do it. Don't you dare, because it's in Hollywood. They teach you to do it. You have to do it in most cases. Go watch a romantic comedy, easy way to notice it. two people, usually odd, you fiddle around. It's kind of funny, cute, and whatever. You know, it makes you want to vomit. But they eventually get together. Everything's perfect, and then something happens. One of them screws up. Both of them screws up. You know, outsiders meddle in their business, and something devastating happens, and they split up. And then they're away from each other for a portion, and now they don't like it. Things go wrong. They need to unite, and then by the end of the thing, they unite. Every single romantic comedy, lots of dramas, a lot of screenplays use that bullshit, and I hate it with a passion. I despise it. They did it in It, and I immediately cringed. I hated it. They never should have did that in It, because it's cheap, it's lazy, it's bullshit, and it's based on the structure that Hollywood is beaten to death. And it's one of the biggest reasons why Hollywood is having a horrible summer, because everyone has to write screenplays the same way. But Stranger Things did one great with the way they wrote it with 11. And I see that in a lot of writing, where if you do something that people hate but you write it well, and if it fits the story and it's authentic and organic, you know, within the story, I think it's fine. And that's how I felt with the Stranger Things stuff. Anyway, that's how I felt with Internal Conflict too. Yep, 144 in mid-season. Oh, I already read that one. Let's scroll down. Ronnie, off topic, but are you going to any Walker Stalker cons this year or next year? I'm really trying to get to some next year, especially to start promoting Doomsday Kingdom. I would love to get to a couple this year. I'm still trying to work some things out, but I was planning on going to some. I had things in the work. I had a lot of different things in the work, and everything fell to a grinding halt with the ad revenue. Because the channel was on its way to doing something so great to where I could shift over to full-time, but not only that, invest into the channel and start doing some other thing. Like, it was spiking in like a bottle rocket to the sky, and then when the ad revenue came, it went from doing that and having an amazing future financially to support itself to bringing in nothing. You know, maybe $200 a month, $300 a month. So that shot it in the foot. But I do want to get to them. I'm not going to say when now, because I did that last time and then the ad revenue stuff happened and I'm not doing that. So I'm going to get there though. I promise I'm going to make it. I'm glad Alicia's love life is over. Wise Madison and her family always taking over in each town location where they're in. Why is the young girl in charge? She's a damn older teen. Yeah, this gets a little problematic. I really wish they would have done something a little more subtle with this. And this is getting overdone, not only in the world of The Walking Dead, but also in Hollywood stuff. You have the main character shows up in a situation, and even the main show of The Walking Dead is not innocent in this regard. You get main characters show up, and they immediately become the center of everything going on in a place that was surviving and thriving before they even showed up. Like Andrian Woodbury in The Walking Dead Season 3. Why the hell why was she in charge? There's no one else that is close to these people that's done things that could step up. There wasn't a novel, there wasn't a comic, but because they want our main character there that we know and love, well, some of us, they give it to that character. It's a lazy, cheap, and it's, quite frankly, it's a pathetic way to write. They never should have had Alicia, especially because of her age, and they should have done a more subtle way and had her earn it in a more subtle way, and I think it would have been fantastic. But it is what it is. This happens a lot, you know, when you get the main characters like Rick Grimes, everywhere he goes, you know, he is the center of it. You gotta do that. He's the lead. It wouldn't make sense for him to show up in Alexandria and have someone else be the main character. It wouldn't make sense. But when you get characters like the Junkie, this young girl who hasn't shown anything but a strong level of common sense, who has done, you know, strong level of book smarts, but has done some common sense, really stupid shit. It's just not believable. And I really wish they would have went about it a little more subtly. The Walking Dead Season 8 was teased to have 10 explosions an episode. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know why they would tease that. We saw Daryl running around blowing shit up to get the walkers' attention. If they came out and said there's going to be 10 explosions, well, no shit. He's running around shooting fucking, you know, gas bombs and shit, you know, to signal shit. So, I appreciate it, but that's not all that exciting. And it's such a weird thing for them to come out and say. But that's still cool. I want Fear Group to become pure evil and ruthless villains who would do anything to survive one day. Well, it doesn't look like they're going in that direction just yet. They do have some shit where you could, you know, call it villainous, sure. Ronnie, did you see the Walking Dead pics EW did? The covers are great. One of the pics inside is Maggie holding the watch, Rick holding the badge, Carol holding Sophia's doll. Yeah, I saw those. I like those. I like those a lot. Ronnie, do you like Nightmare on Elm Street? Concept fan. I like the concept, but in my opinion, they haven't really done a lot of movies that were fantastic. Good stuff when I was a kid. Some of it, you know, good. Some of it scary, but I'm more of a concept fan than anything. For those. There's no such thing as common sense, Ronnie. I disagree. There's definitely common sense, I feel. You know, it matters on how you're talking. If you're talking, that's a can of worms. But I think there's definitely common sense, I feel. Like, don't stick your hand in a fire. I think that's common sense. You don't do that. If you dropped your spoon into the bonfire, I don't think anyone should say, no, don't reach into the fire. No, I feel like that's common sense. Madison can't die. She's going to play alpha. Sure, buddy. Sure. No, I don't think she's going to play alpha. I think that would be terrible. There's a lot of fans that support it. If you support it, that's fine. There's stuff that I love that people hate. That's fine. For me personally, my taste yeah, for me, I would hate it. I would just hate it. I think Daniel and Ophelia will die at the same time. Daniel won't outlive her because he'd be a lifeless monster. Ophelia would just make us miss Daniel. Thoughts? Well, they kind of had Daniel living just fine, not knowing whether his daughter lived or died, you know? And I think they could have Daniel continue on, however, having him broke down after his wife, and then maybe if he gets confirmation or sees his daughter die, yes, he might be like a lifeless monster. So that's probably not going to play out. But Ophelia would just make us miss Daniel. Ophelia already survived Daniel. And I think it would be perfectly fine for Danny to die before Ophelia because technically it's already happened. She already thought he was dead. She went about her life and it was just fine, you know? And I don't think there's any problems there. Me too, but I thought it was spelled whoop-de-whoop. No, it's whoop-de-whoop. D-E, not just D. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. There's tons of different ways you could do it. I don't think it matters. I spelled it whoop, D-E, whoop. Ronnie, did you ever see the movie Hush on Netflix? I thought it was pretty cool. No, I haven't even heard of that. Ronnie, I don't see many people can think Breaking Bad and Walking Dead are in the same universe because one of Jesse Pinkman's friends, Badger, used the word zombie. Well, not only that, keep in mind, keep in mind, they used the word zombie. Also keep in mind, Simon is played, the same actor, plays a character in the Breaking Bad universe. And it's not the same character. It's not the same character at all. So how can you have Simon, you know, in whatever, and then he's this other guy in Better Call Saul, which is the same universe as Breaking Bad? It doesn't work. They're not in the same universe. If they're saying it is, it's only to get fans buying into it's only for money, you know, bottom line. Ronnie, what's your thoughts on Jeepers Creepers 3? I hope you see this. I see it. I'm not a fan of Jeepers Creepers. I think the beginning when I first watched it, you know, they throw the body down the tube thing and he's just standing there and he hops in the truck. I think the first half an hour, probably give or take, was creepy. They got some really cool shit going on. But somewhere along the lines, they just lost me. I don't know if it was the creature design or how he's like a giant bat or whatever, but it just wasn't up my alley. 3, I'm not really interested in seeing that. I might try to check it out if I hear good things about it. Ronnie, is there any word on the running time of the Walking Dead Season 8 premiere? I'm just assuming it's going to be a 90-minute episode. But again, I'm assuming. Q&A, would you have fleshed out Madison's backstory in a different manner or went with a different tragedy twist from her past? No, you could keep the twist, but I would have her show emotion, you know? Look at Daryl. Daryl's a great example. Daryl comes from a shithole. A shithole. And he's scarred. He's physically scarred all over his back from a father, I believe it was the father, who just beat the shit out of him. He talked about being lost in the woods when he was like 9 years old for days. This is a character with a shitty life. And when he's expressive, when shit bothers him, like when he's mad or when he's this and when he's that, you see it. You know, when he gets mad, you know he's mad. And I feel like even if they want Madison to be cold, you know, you got to pick or choose. She's either cold and she's like, oh, Travis died, and she's cold, or she's cold and you see the expression on her face. And I think there's a conflict of interest there. I don't believe the actress can't do it. And I know I've seen her on other stuff, and I've never, oh man, this is a bad actress. I've liked her in other stuff, in Gone Girl, in Sons of Anarchy. I liked her in that other stuff. But now it's like, it just feels like a, what did I call it before? Like a crash test dummy. That's it. We're watching a crash test dummy with a blank expression that, you know, is sad or mad or this or that. And yeah, we do get a little scrunched up face here and there, but it's just not enough. It's not enough for me to make that connection. And we keep hearing the excuse, it's because she's cold. It's because she's this. If she's cold, she wouldn't lean in on Strand and scrunch her face just a little bit. No, she might lean in, she might be sad, she might be down. But it's as if she has no time to get into the moment, and they're just like, okay, just be sad. We'll slap, you know, CGI tears on you. I don't know. Just be sad or whatever. You know, even her crying scene up at the thing, they kept editing it, right? Or no, am I thinking of something else? Where she was leaning on a tree this way and then throwing up and then this and that. Just walk up and show her expression. How many times do we see this on different shows where it kills you? Watch Melissa McBride from The Walking Dead. She rips your guts out. Watch when she finds out when Laurie's dead. Rips your guts out. The Lizzie and Mika stuff rips your guts out. And it's the expressions, you know. It's reading the pain on her face, in her eyes. Andrew Lincoln's the same way. A lot of these actors, you read it on their face, and I want that from Madison. At least a little bit, even if she's cold. And again, you can't keep using that as an excuse because we see her attempting to show emotions. So that's either fake or the actress just doesn't want to go all the way with it. I don't know. And this could be possible. Listen, just because The Walking Dead came out and The Walking Dead's doing a badass job making people finally respect a zombie story, because keep in mind, you know, 10 years ago when you have a zombie story, people didn't view it the same way, especially if you're young now. When I was young, zombie stories had no respect. You didn't, it was silly, it was stupid, you know, it was, you know, gore porn or horror porn. It was like just for that crowd who wanted the gore and the whatever. They did not take it serious. Zombie people might have taken it serious, but it wasn't respected the same way it is now. So the actress playing Madison, she honestly, in all seriousness, she might not respect it as an actress. She might be able to cry on Deadwood or show emotions on, you know, Gone Girl or Sons of Anarchy because she respects those real worlds that she's living in. But in the zombie apocalypse, as an actress, you're looking at her and you're like, maybe she just doesn't respect the genre. She could be like, this is stupid. I'm not crying on a zombie show. What the fuck is this, you know? There's just a disconnect, in my opinion, as a fan, and it's keeping me from being sucked in. And this is ridiculous, because this is an actress I liked from the gate, you know? I still don't know why Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 will be. As the season is nearly done, usually hints towards the next season could be villain-wise. Well, here, they got this set up with the water. That can always get taken over. There can always be a problem with that. Or they can unite against, you know, a common enemy. If they're getting run out of the camp, they could seek shelter at the dam. And then all them people together can go fight an enemy. That's definitely possible. A lot of different things are possible. I just feel like they're going to keep... the ranch. Again, they built it. I don't think they would destroy it. I mean, maybe they would. That's probably saved them a shit ton of money for this season, now that I think about it. Ronnie, who was the Rick Grimes of Fear? In my opinion, they don't have one. The main reason for that is because we entered this world with Rick Grimes. You know what I mean? We didn't enter this world with one particular character. Yes, we entered the first shot was of Nick, but then we followed with Madison, and then there was times where it felt like Madison was the lead, and yada yada yada. Jeepers Creepers ate that dude's eyeballs. Season 8 premiere is going to be 1 hour and 7 minutes long. Oh man, I wished it was longer. The running time for The Walking Dead. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I still wish it was longer. That's a weird running time. The running time for the season 8 premiere is 67 minutes, Ronnie. Oh, really? I wanted longer than that. It was really good. However, I think the CGI was horrendous. They could have done a better job, honestly. But other than that, it was really good. Ronnie, I thought Jeepers Creepers 1 was extremely creepy. I liked it when it stood him standing outside in the dark and him throwing bodies down the hole. Yeah, that was one of the favorite parts. But after that, it went more towards being like, than it was creepy for me. Simon was in Better Call Saul, not same universe, confirmed. And damn, I am Jadis. Kim Dickens had some great sex scenes in Sons of Anarchy, Ronnie, you gotta admit. Did she? I don't even remember those. Somebody's gonna have to go back. Bring that motherfucking ruckus. See the trailer for next week's Fear the Walking Dead, Ronnie? Yeah, it played right after the main show. Kim Dickens did a phenomenal job in Things Behind the Sun. Great indie dark film. Not everyone it deals with rape. Not for everyone, I think he meant. Why did AMC have Fear the Walking Dead listed as the finale this week? Did they really? She was also in Lost. Yeah, she was in Lost, but in my opinion, I'll be honest with you, she was flat in Lost. I mean, flat completely. Unless there's a scene they did that I don't remember. But just go and watch some of her in Lost. I think her performance in that just wasn't impressive. And again, it could be the actress just doesn't respect the, Lost is crazy and out there. She might not respect the story and just be like, well, I'm going to do my role but not take it, as serious as someone like, Leonardo DiCaprio. Whatever he takes it serious. I think a lot of it is she's hoping she will find him alive like she has in the past. What do you think about Alicia fighting for when Jake asked her who, her family, Nick? Wait, what? What do you think is Alicia fighting for when Jake asked her who? I think she's just fighting for her family. Probably getting a connection with the people there. I used to think it was how they were writing Madison, but I am beginning to think she just isn't made for this part. Bad casting, not blaming it on the show anymore. Sorry, I wanted to like her. I said the same thing. A little while back, I said, I got to start seeing something from the actress, or I'm going to start, because by now at this point the actress could be watching this back going, it's not hitting. It's not hitting with the fans. It's not hitting with me. I'm not selling the scene. I either got to bring it, or yeah, I agree with you. They should have casted somebody else. Ronnie, another thing about Breaking Bad is people fighting differently than in The Walking Dead. In The Walking Dead, the people fight more realistically. For the simple fact that she didn't see him die. What are you guys talking about? Yeah, it was like B or C movie acting. It was all special effects. Did you hear Doom of what might be the GOT spinoff? Oh, I haven't looked into the spinoffs for GOT. Not that this is important, but the day you said you wrote the crap part is my birthday. Those 1 in 365 odds, though. I agree with your take on Jeepers Creepers. What did you think of the ending? Pretty unnerving, huh? I don't think I remember the ending. It was just the eye part, right? Yeah, I thought it was okay. Again, it was just like, for the physical, injury, that part, it was like, oh, cool, creepy, whatever. But, I don't know. Do you think that we will see some of the deceased characters in The Walking Dead show up and have a long storyline in Fear the Walking Dead? Huh? I have no idea what you mean there. No, if they're dead in The Walking Dead, they're dead, bro. And if you mean like backstories, they're in 2 different places. We're talking all across, one's on the East Coast and then one's on the West Coast. So for anyone to have a backstory that's just, I don't believe that traveling. If they put it in there, I would be really annoyed. It just wouldn't make any sense, in my opinion. Because keep in mind, that distance in a zombie apocalypse is massive. They went from here to here on a map, you know, and it almost killed them. It took them, what, like 7 weeks or 17 days, some shit like that. In season 5, they traveled like this distance. But Fear and The Walking Dead, the characters are living like this distance apart on the map. So I don't imagine that. They went this distance and it almost destroyed them. Imagine going all the way that distance. It's just not possible, I don't think. The trailer doesn't play after the episode here in Canada. Oh, that sucks. Why not? It played after this. It plays after the episodes here. Yeah, Dickens played somebody in Lost. I don't know if it was Sawyers. I don't know. Just kill Nick and hire me as a comedic character. What did you think about Nick dropping the F-bomb? You have to rewind it, bruh. I thought it was something that should have been done on The Walking Dead, to be honest, for Negan. Alright, I gotta get a drink, and we'll go about 10 more minutes and shut her down. Good night. Yeah, we'll have to shut it down because I caught my daughter up when she should be asleep. So 10 minutes, I'm going to shut it down, and then I'm going to ground and kick some ass. Drank all my iced tea, forgot to go to the store, so I deboed my kid for a... Is that what that guy's name is? In, was it Good Friday? Oh my god, it's been so long, I forgot. Debo. That's what we used to say. Every time somebody was being like a bully or took something, they deboed you. I think, now I feel like I got that wrong. One more question, laugh out loud. Who wins 2020, Kong or Godzilla? I like Godzilla better. Looks visually, I think he's cooler looking. But flip a coin. I don't think they really make good movies. Godzilla... Let's make a Godzilla movie, but let's only show the monster for 5 minutes. There was one part where the monster, like, it was coming out, or I remember something. It was like, oh my god, we're finally going to see Godzilla on the screen. Whooped. And then they cut to like a commercial, or not a commercial, but like a news broadcast. So dumb. I loved the new Godzilla that end 10 minutes, but... And then when it came to the new King Kong movie, that just failed, in my opinion. Ronnie, I'm sorry for the off-topic question, but did you like Dawn of the Dead? What did you like and didn't like? Oh, this would take a whole, you know, this is like a whole separate video type question. As far as what you like and don't like, yeah, we'd be here another half an hour. So I will say, we're going to cover this in its own video, hopefully in October, leading up to The Walking Dead. And basically, I like the zombies and I hate the characters. Back in the old zombie movies, they just didn't have good characters, you know, plain and simple. I think that's what they were lacking. Ronnie, Kim's always on Talking Dead a lot. She must be into it. That's why the show is not like The Walking Dead. Needs strong leader. I'm pretty sure they get paid to be on The Talking Dead. She could just do it for the money. I didn't miss Madison at all this episode. She's a shitty character. It's unfortunate, but I'm glad to have a break from her. And this is where I know they're going downhill. Guys, keep in mind, this is an actress I liked. Go and even watch the old videos I liked from the beginning in other projects. And now it's gotten to the point where I'm actually glad we had a break from her. And it's because of the character. And what they're doing with that character. Great, now he knows my name. Underwear, diner, scene, Jeep creep. Ronnie, do you think Alicia will go and try to find the cabin in the forest Jake talked about. Why would she do that? I must have missed that part. Yeah, why would she do that? I might have missed that. He means that Fear the Walking Dead is earlier in the timeline, so people who died on The Walking Dead would still be alive on Fear the Walking Dead. Yeah, I got that after the second time I read it, but again, right, what I said after that still applies. There's not enough time. You can't be where they are in Fear the Walking Dead at this point in time in the timeline and make it to where the Walking Dead crew is for pretty much almost anybody in the story. It would take far too long, you know? Why didn't everyone at the ranch just cover themselves in zombie guts and let the herd pass, though? Well, because you would alleviate the tension, and the screenwriters are using that, obviously, clearly, for convenience. And yes, this is, and I totally didn't bring this up before, and I apologize, I should have. Well, the only other second negative, especially now that you reminded me, obviously the overused, shit that they did in the stories, and the guts. Once you establish that guts trick, now we start going, well, why don't they have guts? Why didn't they? Because Alicia knew. Alicia knew, absolutely. Ronnie, do you spend much money on action figures? Some of them are really expensive. No, especially recently. No, that's all done. That's all done. But yes, I will agree with you. There's a lot of expensive ones. Luckily, though, I got some really awesome members of the Matt family that have spoiled me. I did buy Batman for my birthday earlier this year, but we got Matt members spoiled me with the Joker, Jason. I love that Jason. Just absolutely love that Jason. The Joker is awesome, too. And then back here, just an insane surprise from Anonymous. Again, thank you every day. Predator is one of my ultimate movie monsters. I think the design is just genius and epic, and I look at that thing every day and I'm like, oh, you sexy beast. Well, Ronnie, one scene from Dawn of the Dead that scared the hell out of me as a kid was when Michael opened up the closet in the store in the mall and the zombie was eating the guts. Oh yeah, Alicia would do that if shit hits the fan at the ranch and they had to run. Yeah, I seen it. I thought it was okay. I did a whole video on it. The episode felt strange to me, but in a great way. Juliet, you're going to want to shut that down, honey. The daddy's ears work.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry, because you're the one going to be sorry. Honey, go to sleep.
Hey, I'm trying to listen to this.
I'm going to choke her out, guys. I'm going to choke her out. And for anyone who's about to say, oh, Ronnie, why are you doing a video? You know she's like right around the corner. She's sleeping in my bed. She should not be there. She should be in her own bed. But we're having problems. Or we're going to have to fight it out. Anyway, not using the guts trick is just ridiculous and frankly insulting our intelligence. Exactly! Ronnie did a video review on it. Check it out. Yeah, check it out. Set up a bunch of Season 4 stuff this episode of Fear, Ronnie. Guts trick was great at first. It's beginning to get played out. Yes, it's played out for the fans. However, they should set it up knowing we would be like, well, wait a minute, what about the guts trick? What if they had some people getting the guts on and then they didn't have enough time for everyone to get the guts? You have got the zombies coming through. Maybe they even sent someone out to get a zombie, pull it back. I mean, now you're like, oh my God, there's so much more material now. In my opinion, I think that's a major fail. Imagine having two people, okay, listen, get a wheelbarrow. We got to go grab a zombie. They shuffle, we run. We got to go kill one, throw them in the barrel. What if they even fail? And they fall down, drop the barrel. Zombies are even getting closer. They throw them in. They bring them back to the group. They gut them. And it's just not enough. Maybe they got to run back and grab another one. By this time, the zombies hit the trailer. You got people freaking out, but now people are still trying to coat themselves in guts. And keep in mind, even with the guts, if you do something that gets their attention, it breaks the camouflage. It breaks the illusion. So they can do that so we don't look at it like, wait a minute, why not just put guts? They can do that and still have tension. So it just leaves us with one huge question. why not do that? You can still get what you wanted to get out of it. I like the rider's mask behind you. Yeah, that thing is awesome. That is set up to take to conventions when we start going. Thanks for the smiles, Ronnie and Map Crew. I got gifted the Negan blanket. It was so nice. Awesome. You're the one who is gonna be sorry. Ha ha ha. True story, bro. I wanted to get your Muhammad Ali versus Superman action figure with the comic, but I'm not sure you are into it. Oh, I'm a massive. I think I know what you mean. It's the old style with NECA in them. Thank you for thinking of me. You absolutely don't have to. You don't have to. Don't. But I really appreciate the thought. Thanks for thinking of me. And yeah, I think I'm an even bigger Muhammad Ali fan than I am a Superman fan. But yeah, I probably, especially with Muhammad Ali, I would have been like, oh, he's so damn cool. Again, don't. But extremely appreciate it. I hope you are too hard. I hope you are. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. I hope you are not too hard on Juliet, Ronnie. Oh, I am. I'm not going to raise her up to be an ass. She's not going to grow up to be a spoiled little brat. It's, you know, never mind. I was going to make a joke out of there, but I just fumbled it, so I just kept it moving. My crazy daughter's awake, too. It's crazy because it's not like you're being mean, like, oh, go to bed. You're trying to keep them from waking up in the morning and being like, oh, life sucks, you know? I hate mornings. Well, maybe if you went to bed on time. So, it is what it is. Ronnie, me on the same page. I think she just isn't onto the role like she is in the past roles. She's pathetic, lost her passion, bad casting. Can't push it off on the writers anymore. They could redeem it, though. They could bring it back and just have her, you know. Anyway, I am really liking both Nick and Strand this season as well as Walker. Yes, I think Walker has good charisma, the actor, so they can play off of that. Same for Strand. He has good charisma. They could definitely do more and make him a fan favorite. Absolutely. Negative for me is the use of the word horde. It makes sense for what a horde is, but with the word for Walker is so ambiguous, Nick should have radioed to Alicia a shit ton of walkers coming to the ranch. Ronnie, do you think it's possible we could actually get zombies in real life one day? Laugh out loud. No, I don't. Strand was awesome in season 1. Bring back the magic. Going to Justice League in November. Ronnie, thoughts? No, there's no way in hell that's going to be any good. What DC is doing overall, I just don't like it. I didn't see Wonder Woman, but I thought Batman vs. Superman was amateurishly pathetic, a miserable disaster, an embarrassment. If I made that movie the way it was, I would, in all seriousness, I would give up on filmmaking. It is just horrendous. I know there's a lot of people that like it. I know. But Suicide Squad, in my opinion, is even worse. I think that is just that is an embarrassment. I don't know how anyone who was involved in that holds their head up high. They got to walk around going, oh, I had no creative control. It was the studio. You know. That was just laughable. Especially when they hyped up Jared. I would never come out in public again. If I hyped up the role of, I sent like nasty stuff to my castmates, and I was always like, you're such a method actor, and then the character is so ridiculous and you know, bad. Again, I think he himself did a lot that was good with the Joker role, but overall I didn't like it. It was not a Joker for me, not at all. Where do we go? Will there be a chance that the Whisperers' costumes will be too distinguishable from Walkers in The Walking Dead? Yeah, sure, there's a chance, absolutely. The actress is flat, and the directors should push that from her. But that's another thing. I'm really interested to see how they go in that direction, because the idea is we want to be able to tell them apart. In the comic, it's easy because all they did is black out the eyes. In the show, it might not be that simple. They might have to show that because, and it is easier in the comic. You have faraway images. It's so easy. All the ones with dark eyes, those are the Whisperers. But on the show, you might have to be able to see, you know, the tears around the eyes up close, because at a distance, you're not going to be like, okay, we got 7 Whisperers, and no, that's a zombie. You know what I mean? You're not. You're just not. But up close, when it's too late, you'll be like, fuck, Whisper. Actress is flat. No, here we go. I'm kind of frustrated because I don't think Tyrese and Abraham were done justice in the show. Chad and Michael brought so much. They did little, so Daryl could grunt more. See, this is another thing that pulls me apart in the world of The Walking Dead. And now that we're ending it, we'll kind of do a little free-for-all. So if you have any questions about anything and Fear the Walking Dead, you can ask them now. We're gonna shut this down. But this is where I get pulled apart. Because when I rewatch the show, there's 2 fans living inside. There's the fan of the comics, and that's usually the one that reacts first. Like when I see stuff happening with, you know, Tyrese on the show, Abraham on the show, the comic fan viewing it for the first time wants Daryl to kind of, you know, step aside and let other characters shine, you know? But the TV-only fan in me, especially when I'm rewatching it, I was such a huge Norman Reedus fan years, I mean a decade before The Walking Dead ever aired. And I'm such a Daryl, did I say that right? Norman Reedus fan. And I'm such a Daryl Dixon fan that when I'm watching it, rewatching it, I'm sucked into the character and the things going on. Yes, there is a huge disconnect somewhere around the Beth storyline and after. The character changes wildly that I don't like, and I want the old Daryl back. And a lot of people go, it was after his brother, after his brother. Watch the premiere of season 4. That's absolutely not true. He's joking. He's goofing around. He's joking that he was an undercover cop. His attitude dramatically changes around the Beth area. And I'm going back and rewatching it to pinpoint that exactly because I got a video coming on it, or at least I've always wanted to do a video on it. But again, there's 2 fans in me. The one fan that wants him to step aside to let comic characters shine because I want to see them too. I want to see more Jesus. I want to see more Abraham or Tyrese and them interact and come close with the Rick character. And then there's the TV fan who is into the Daryl character and loves what he does. And there's still stuff that even the TV fan inside me, like when he talks about not being We Are the Walking Dead, I still to this day, I mute it quick because I think it is just so, he should have just got up and walked away. It would have been a beautiful scene. He disagrees in silence. He gets up, maybe gives a look back, and walks away. Rick could even say, like, Daryl, you know, or something. He just leaves. That would have been perfect. But having him say that, it felt like Daryl wasn't listening to anything they were fucking saying. You know? Anyway. Yeah, so I see what you're saying, and I agree. There's a part of me that wanted more of Tyrese. There's a part of me that wanted more of Abraham and wanted that connection between Abraham and Rick. What? And then there's another part of me that's like a Norman Reedus fan, a massive Daryl fan, and I'm like, yes, yes, you know, so it is what it is. When you said you were going to get a drink, I didn't think you meant Danimals. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I totally forgot to grab iced tea when we went to the store. I was going to grab a little thing of that sweet tea I like because I didn't make anything to drink and I only have soda in there and I ain't drinking soda. So I grabbed a little Danimals. She has a whole pack. I bought her just today, I think, or yesterday. So I said, I'll drink one. I'll buy another pack tomorrow. Yeah, that's good. It's good stuff. Hate mornings too, laugh out loud. Ronnie, did you see the Hulk movie in 2003 and the one from 2008? Which did you like better? I'm pretty sure I like the Edward Norton one better. Not by much though. Yeah, those were popcorn flicks. Watched it. I think I hated the first Hulk one. I'm almost positive. Hated it enough to where I never watched it again. But the Hulk with Edward Norton, I at least watched that twice. Let's see what we got here. What do you think Heath and Sherry's role in season 6 is going to be? You know what's funny? Scott Gimple said we're likely to not see Heath in season 8. They said, what's the chance? What's it looking like that we'll see Heath? And Scott Gimple said, I wouldn't really count on it or something. And we all know he could be misleading or bullshitting or whoop-de-whoop. That is fine. But part of me got to thinking, what if we don't see him? Because if he shows up with new characters, okay, he ran into new characters and he shows up and that's that, Heath is back. I think that is my first guess. My second guess is if we don't see him until after the time skip, that's a problem. That means he goes and lives with a new community, lives on his own. What is the point in bringing him back? Like, what is the point? Unless he goes and they're going to sink the story where he does live with another community and that other community is totally wiped out by this group of Whisperers. And once our group figures out about him, Heath could show up, or they could find Heath out there as one of the sole survivors of his new group. And that's where they make more of a connection about what they're facing. Because keep in mind, they might not have Carl go with them. If that's the case, they could have Heath do it instead. Imagine if they're not going to have Lydia. And I know this is a big thing. If they're not going to do that, that means Carl has no reason being in there. And that means that they can use Heath as the inside man to tell us what's going on. It's possible. I don't know if it's likely. I don't know if it's something I would stand behind as a prediction. However, for Sherry's role, I think that is pretty important for Dwight. That's a ticking time bomb. Any day now, Negan and his gang could find Sherry, and Dwight is screwed. So I think that could be a tool to ramp up the tension. I think the Whisper arc with the horror element will play better on the screen than All Out War, even though in my opinion All Out War was the best arc in the comics. Thoughts? That's rough. The build up to the Whisper War was one of my all-time favorite story arcs in the comic book. The actual war in All Out War, I loved it a lot, you know, so that's rough right there. But the Whisper War, I did not like that as much as I liked the All Out War. The thing you hate and love the most in the Walking Dead TV show, the thing I love and hate, the thing you hate the most in the Walking Dead TV show, digital blood. It doesn't look good. It's pathetic. You can't do digital blood right now, or at least they don't have enough budget to do it right now. It's even when you go back and rewatch some of the stuff, it's out of place. It looks bad. The helicopter in season 3 falling through the building. I rewatched that episode today, and it looks horrible. It looks like 10-year-old CGI. I don't know what the hell happened. Maybe it's that one scene. But fake blood on the reruns, I'm starting to notice it more and more. But guess what? It's hard to notice in season 1. It is hard to notice in season 1. When I watch season 1, like I just rewatched season 1 like 2 days ago. I'm prepping for a video series. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet because it takes a lot of time to edit these particular ones. But I rewatched season 1 and I don't ever remember having a moment where I'm like, oh, that digital blood. When they shoot the teddy bear girl, okay, sure. There's a little bit there that's noticeable in the very beginning. But again, it's just a little bit there. And then other scenes, there's some blood where it's like, okay. But when I watched the other, season 2, there's a moment. Season 3 is wild. Almost every single time they stab them in the face and are on screen, it's as if the knife goes in here and it just kind of like wiggles a little and then it pulls out. It's like, it just looks so fake and bad, and the digital blood. So that's one thing in the Walking Dead. I wish they never used digital blood or used it as little as possible. And I know that's extremely hard because of their filming schedule and yada yada yada. I get it. But I'm just talking about if I can have anything I want as a fan, digital blood would go. But what do I love most about the Walking Dead TV show? It's got to be the characters. It's got to be anyone can do zombies. Well, anyone can do, not anyone can do incredibly like, oh my god, zombies, but almost anyone can do zombies, right? But it's the characters you build. I think that is probably the thing I love the most. What do you think Madison, Walker, and Strand will do when they get to the gate and see the herd? Only thing they can do, start clearing the way, looking for the ones they love, Explosion Strawberry. I just really don't want Eugene to die. He makes me laugh. Will season 8 be a hit or a miss? I'm hoping it's going to be a hit. So far, I think it's going to be a hit. Heath is with the PPP people. That's another interesting thing. If you go back and look, I'm 80% sure that's not even PPP. Who writes like that? We're not talking about, oh, look, here. I got this key card, and I'm going to write a P on it, P on it, P on it. I peed on it. I don't know. Like, you got a P, and a P. On his card, it was more like this. Well, no, yeah. Well, maybe I'll make it big. Yeah, on his card, it was more like that. That's a PPP, you know? PPP pants. But the actual PPP looks like that. So I'm like 80% thinking it's not even a PPP. I think it's something different. It could mean it could have balloons. That's it. Anyway, I'm just kidding though. Hope not. He reacts like most people would, but he is speaking just makes me chuckle, laugh aloud. I hope not. I don't know what you're talking about. Heath is the puff pass. Heath is with the puff pass. Ronnie, a big part of The Walking Dead on screen success is Greg Nicotero. Have you watched a documentary on Greg Nicotero and his company called Nightmare Factory? I've watched a bunch of different documentaries. I don't know if I watched that particular one, but I will absolutely agree with you. Yeah, Greg Nicotero and his team does an incredible work. And when I was talking about the zombies, anyone could do the zombies, but not anyone can do the amazing zombies. That's what I'm speaking of. Anyone could do just simple zombies, good enough zombies to get by. Not anyone could do the amazing zombies. But I was trying to make a different point about the characters being like one of the things I love the most. Do you know who Michael Wincott is? I think he could play William due to the actor's background. No, I don't know who that is. Seems like someone Ezekiel would pick as a vice leader. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. No, I don't know who that is. Ronnie, I think it would be better if, after all this time, Heath was just held captive by a family in the woods for their safety. Yeah, but if it was like 2 years, 3 years, then they got to come up with a connection. That you can't be a prisoner for 3 years, I don't think, if you're just a family in the woods. But if it's just simply for a few weeks, couple months, they could probably get away with it. What would your dream story for Strand this season going to be? I have no idea. The way they're already building it, I have no idea. I'm not even sure what direction they're going to go now unless they... Again, it's just clearing out the zombies, and then we have the dam in play. And I don't even think there's anything really set up. And I'm hoping it's not the internal conflict, because I just don't want any more of that. So Strand right now would probably just be the guy to find something else to push the story into a different direction. But for right now, we need to focus on what's going on, which is the zombies. So I'm forced to say, you know, I wish this was like, hey, what do you want Strand to do in a whole new season? And I could sit down and come up with it. Right now, I'm forced to say he has to help clear out. That's it, you know. And then after that, have him push the story along with something else that's out there. Wait, what? 10 more minutes, laugh out loud. Was it 10 minutes? We could shut it down now. Yeah, we could shut it down now. Let me see what kind of questions we got. Whoa, Digital Blood beat out TV Andrea bottle episodes and the budget. Whoop-de-whoop. Yes, Digital Blood beats TV Andrea because that's something that's that, you know, isolated thing. TV Andrea also controls like that one whole season pretty much, but the Digital Blood is in every season, sometimes a little bit, sometimes a lot. And bottle episodes, that's a tricky one. I can't say, yeah, TV Blood beats that because there's some bottle episodes where I love Clear, I love Here's Not Here, I love the Governor bottle episode when they did that one. There's bottle episodes that work. I don't think doing them back to back to back, I don't think that works. Like if in even in season 4, I think they were really stressing it, having everyone separated and doing bottle episodes. I think that was, you know, stressing it to the max. And they should have stopped after that and only did a few. Like Here's Not Here, and everything else should have been blended. But the Digital Blood that's all throughout. That's king. Ronnie, one thing that is unrealistic about The Walking Dead Season 8 was the diabetic girl dying without insulin because I'm diabetic. Insulin is used for food and drinks like soda, not low blood sugar. Yeah, I have no idea how that works. So that's probably what they were relying on. Yeah, they were probably just relying on people to not pick that up. Like, I have no idea. And you would think they could just simply Google that shit or something, you know? Good night. Good night, Tammy. Greg Nicotero is why I think the Whisperer arc is going to be dope. Absolutely. I'm glad he's around for that. Episode 1 of The Walking Dead Season 8, Journey to the Sanctuary, Ronnie. Yeah, I think that's where they're going to go. I don't know about that one. Yeah, I don't want to say that because it has comic spoilers, but yeah, you're talking about... I disagree. If they go that route, I'm going to have to say that's a really cheap way for them to heighten the oh my god shock factor, because now you're revealing way too much, way too early. You know what I mean? You got this big war going on with Negan and them, and then you're going to just have this flash forward of major characters dying, and you just jumped right into a big storyline. And there's no setup, there's no warning. A lot of fans are going to be so focused on the war, and then you just show characters flash forward, so many people are dead, and fans are going to legitimately be like, I have no fucking idea what's going on, you know? That's my thoughts on that one. Is Nicholas going to form the Whisperers? No. Well, good night, Matt. You have work at 4 a.m.? Good luck with that. I hate 4 a.m. I thought that too. My daughter's type 1 diabetic, but so glad they did it anyway. Good night, good night, good night. Yeah, good night, guys. Another question, Ronnie. How does it work if you just take insulin whenever you eat or drink something, but you have to know how much to give? Wait, how it works is you just take insulin. Just give for whatever you're eating. You have to be careful, though. Laugh out loud. Yeah, like I said, I think they just betted on having so many people not used to that and have no idea what's going on, you know? But it is a shame. They could have worked around it somehow or gave her some other... Like, they didn't have to give her the insulin. If you're saying it works differently, they fled Negan for the insulin. They didn't need her going into some kind of diabetic shock. They didn't need that. They could have simply had Daryl, you know, reveal that he had the medicine and bring it back. They don't need her going into, you know, we don't need to see it to know it's important. They could have just stressed, like, dude, if, you know, she would have eaten anything or did this or this and didn't have that, the combat, whatever, kind of like you said. Yeah, I would agree that would have been better. Ronnie, I said season 9, episode 8. Oh, I thought I read that wrong. My apologies. Let me read that again. I thought you were like season 8, episode 9. Somehow I read that wrong. I said season 9, episode 8. That's half a season after all that. Well, let me read, because it sounded like... Wait. All right, Ronnie. Season 9, episode 8. Traumatized, gray hair, Angelina wants to run... 2-month break. Oh, all right. When I first read it, I thought you meant, like, boom, flash forward, and then we have this break. Yeah, if it's during the regular season, I'm cool with that. I don't care if there's, you know, a death reveal, and then they show, and then we got a cliffhanger and a 2-month break. I care if they, you know, if Rick walks up and he's all shocked and we know someone's dead, we know multiple people are dead, and then it cuts to black and there's a 2-month break, because then it's just like, it's cheap. It's cheap and pathetic, and it's baiting. If they do that, yeah, I'm annoyed. But if they do what you said, I don't care. Sure, you know, take a break. As long as the scene plays out and it doesn't leave us feeling like, you know. I just saw this. Do you blame Nick for his death? I just saw this. Do you blame Nick for his death? You mean Jake? Yes, definitely. I mean, he's the one who hit him in the head. Late to the party, close to stopping. Yeah, we're shutting it down. Good night, gang. Ronnie, we need another all-nighter with 2 liter of OE live streaming. Yeah, we do. I don't even know when. My daughter's in school now, so she's not going to be doing many sleepovers, if any. Well, there's type 1 and type 2. Type 2 is kind of different, but I know with being type 1, if I take insulin with low blood sugar, I'll die unless I have food or a drink. Oh. Ronnie, I know you're super busy, but would you consider doing a top 10 horror movies video for Halloween or a horror movie list stream discussion? I would like to do a live stream horror discussion. I think that would be awesome. And I would also like to do at least one, like, horror list or something. I think that would be fun and interesting. Yeah. You know, I wanted to do a couple things. I wanted to do a little movie or a little video for each season of The Walking Dead. But I just don't know if I'd have enough time, because I'd need to do 2 seasons a week, essentially. You know, season 1 and 2, that would be 1 week. Seasons 3 and 4 would be another week. Maybe I could do one season in 1 week and still 2 seasons in da-da-da-da. You get what I'm saying? Because there's not an even number of seasons. Nick is like Daryl. They get away with stuff. What do you think about ratings drop for The Walking Dead and Fear? I'm not. I think the ratings drop for Fear is because of the story, and I think they need to handle it better. And I think the ratings drop for The Walking Dead is strictly because of the structure. And I think there's evidence. I feel there's clear evidence of that. Because if you look at the way people are watching, there's still, 15 million fans watching. They just watch it later. There's a whole cluster of fans who, if you bore them or if you split the structure up, they won't watch it live. They will wait until they can binge watch it. And I believe that is primarily because of the structure. A fan that's mad that you killed Glenn is not going to, or the majority of them, I'm sure there's some that go, oh, I don't want to watch it live. I'll binge watch it. And then if I like it, they'll get sucked back into it. But you get fans mad at the structure going, I can't stand this. I will binge watch it. That's primarily what they're doing, as opposed to someone who goes, oh, you killed my favorite fan, I will binge watch it. I mean, it doesn't make as much sense, Ronnie, have you seen the new Leatherface and Chucky film? No, I heard Leatherface was dumb, but the Chucky film looks bad. Excuse me. It looks bad. Looks terrible. Since you support background characters living post-war, can Tobin live to season 9 to 11? I don't think he should. He should die. I was glad. I mean, I support characters if it makes sense. Like in Fear the Walking Dead, we need more characters. You're at a cross point where if you start killing who you have, you're not replenishing the well, for characters that are likable, which doesn't make any sense. They should be giving us more likable characters we can latch onto as they're killing off good characters, but they're not. Like Jake was one that was just starting to come up, and then he's gone. So when it comes to background characters, they should last if it fits the story like that. But for The Walking Dead, there's way too many main ones. We need to trim the fat, in my opinion. I shouldn't have to say in my opinion. It's all my opinion. But I get so many people thinking that I'm trying to talk about fact, and no, it's all my opinion. All right, will Alicia blame Nick? She should. It was his fault. What do you think about the ratings drop? I already did that. Nick is like Daryl. They get away with stuff. I was glad the Dubbag episode showed how difficult it is. Not literally. Oh, all right. Is William actually a bad guy? That last moment when Maggie was cut. No, so far he's not a bad guy. Now, Ronnie, have you seen the new Leatherface? Are you gonna watch the new Chucky movie in Leatherface? Probably not. Chucky, like I said, it looks dumb, like bad. I'm gonna hate it. I'll tell you this right now. It looks terrible. Leatherface, I hear bad things, but I haven't even seen a trailer yet, so I don't know. I thought Devil was scary when they were trapped in the elevator. I actually liked that a little bit. There was a lot of people that hated that. I liked it. I love The Village, though, and a lot of people hate that. I love The Village. You need something for Halloween, maybe a special. Ha ha ha. October is my favorite month. Yeah, it's my favorite month, and that's why I agree. I want some type of special Halloween video. William's not a bad guy. Why would Nick kill Jake? He said Jake's a nice guy a few episodes ago. Did you not watch the friggin' thing? He didn't purposefully kill him. He got him killed, hit him over the head, and he got eaten. Did you not watch it? Maybe you didn't. There was someone who said they didn't watch it. Maybe you're that person. Ronnie, how do you feel about Bruce staying a lot? Strail leaving Naughty Dog? He worked on The Last of Us. I have no clue who that is. Yeah, I have no clue. I'll have to check it out. We don't need everyone who worked on it. If he was one of the main guys, oh, that's damn, but I've never even heard of his name. So, and that could be I probably didn't even soak that information up, but I'm a big Tobin fan since you support background. Yeah, you did that question again, damn you. Really another Chucky movie? Oh boy, all these people are talking crap about The Walking Dead are going to be watching the season 8 episode 1 because they know they love the show. Why are you finishing death predictions for season 8? Tomorrow I think it's posting. Ronnie is too legit to quit. Yeah, I should be getting going. Where are we at? Oh my god, hour 47 minutes. So there we go. Well, now we're getting into some Halloween stuff. In my head, I'm thinking, ooh, fish around for ideas so we could do something. The Clark family destroy every place they go. Actually, they killed the Ottos. They stayed with their place. Yeah, they did stay there, but they are killing the people who owned it. Baby Driver cinematography is in season 8 crew. Good action scenes. Nice. I've never seen that movie, but I hear good things about it. Tell us about your Friday the 13th script. I remember you mentioning something about it. I think I'm definitely going to do a video talking about the Friday the 13th script. I think this year for Halloween, that'll be one of the Halloween videos I do. Maybe I'll do a big video talking about the script, and then I'll cut that down for those who just want to hear like the main points. I might do something like that. Yeah, alright, so I really got to roll. Thank you everyone for coming out. Ronnie, do you think Comic Dwight will continue to be bad and get killed? He needs to stop being a bitch and get over himself. Yeah, Dwight is constantly being, like, even for those on TV show, Dwight is constantly being, like, more so in the comics. In the show, it appears it's like, oh, he's on board. In the comics, Dwight was like, okay, I'm going to work for the good guys. Is he really working for the good guys? Like, it's in the ballpark of you're not really sure. And then you see him do shit like, come on, I told you, I'm here to help. But you still doubt him because at any moment he could take over and do his own shit. So maybe they'll do more of that in season 8. But I think Dwight in the comic book, for those wondering, I think he just needs a reality check. Maybe he needs some sleep. All right, good night, guys. Will you do live stream for season 8, Ronnie? Yes, we're going to do live streams afterwards. And unlike Fear the Walking Dead, we will have a Walking Dead review, its own separate review. We're not going to do the review in the live stream. We're going to start the live stream. I'll do like a first impression 10-minute thing, and then I'll go right into the comments. And then a day or two later, I'll post my official in-depth discussion video on the episode. So, good night, guys. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate all the support. Let me just scroll down here before I go and make sure we thanked everyone who did the super chat. We got Wisdom Fall, Alan Hannigan, and again, Alan Hannigan. March 31st is my birthday. I didn't even see this one you did. 2 more for coincidence. That is awesome. That is awesome. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow for the death prediction video. And then I got another video coming because when I was rewatching season 7, there was something that was said that got me thinking, I want to talk about it. So we'll go over that probably on Tuesday or Wednesday. All right, guys. Thank you. Love you guys. And good night.